say something about the event? Yeah, it's funny.
Welcome to Aarhus's annual celebration of its brutal rapist past. The Viking expansion into the north, bringing trade and culture and sagas. Basically, Disneyland for Vikings, the peak of Scandinavian culture, certainly the peak of anything that anyone knows about Scandinavia. This is where we all dress up and drink mead and pretend that we're not all students and accountants, that we're actually brave warriors. And my name is Ragnar Longsword. That's my Viking name, Ragnar Longsword. So, that was Vikings 2017. Hard price to get in, which considering it was 140 krona, was like still a rip-off. So that was Vikings 2017. Basically a big open-air market. If you go, take some cash, because they don't seem to have got the whole technology thing sorted out. Couldn't mobile pay. Card barely worked. Guy was waving the machine. Very old school, you know. But, you know, there was mead and beer and lamb and swords and archery and, yeah, Vikings.
What did you like best about the Vikings?
That the one place where my card actually worked was selling alcohol.
I honestly
couldn't get a sausage though.
Yeah, mobile pay. I honestly can't think of anything nice to, anything remarkable to ask you about the Vikings.
If you're in town and it's on, go see it. You know?
How did it compare to previous years?
Kind of dull. I might be getting too old, but it was. I remember it being a lot more fun and a lot cheaper. But you know, I got mead.
Cheers.
Right. I got nothing else to say. This is a panoramic view of Aarhus in microcosm. The modern with the Congress Centre. The modernist with the town hall from the 1940s. I think that was built to replace the one that the British bombed. Aarhus, contemporary in design and contemporary in art. Then the ancient and the sacred with the cathedral. Crossing over to the red brick apartments and offices with a copper roof. The cranes rebuilding the city, which is what's been going on for 20 years. Botanical gardens, and behind there, botanical gardens in Dengamlebu. Nature, the college, blocks of flats, infinitely more attractive than anything I ever lived in, and then the rest of the city. From the top of Gosbanen, which used to be a depot for the railways, but is now being turned into one of Aarhus's more vibrant cultural environments. That's Aarhus in a microcosm. Contemporary and modern mixed up, hopefully with the intention and possible design of making a city that is human to live in and that has everything that you could possibly require. I'll do. The dead soldiers. It's all sodas as well, with only a few beers. No. That's where we all end up, crushed in the garbage. Right, the harbour, like most of the city, is currently in a process of change. Much of what we see now is soon going to change and disappear. The harbour is, I guess, the roughest part of the city. It not only constitutes the docks, sailors and their attendant needs and vices, it also, over in that direction, is where much of the city's dispossessed, the homeless and such like, also hang out. Few people come down here who have no business down here, and for those of us who do have business down here, we're quite pleased that they don't. Down here is a place where you are out of the mainstream, away from the general population, and we don't, as you can see from the physical environment, it's not luxurious, but it is discreet, quiet, and out of the way. I have slept many a cold night under, for example, there, under there, and over there. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what this place is going to look like in a few years. But to be honest, it is a bit of a slum. Yeah. There seems to be a historical inevitability that the roughest parts of a city will eventually be gentrified and taken over by the cultured and the intellectual and the artistic. An example of that for the harbour would be this. We are at Filmburen, the centre of film and television production in Jutland. So basically all that cool stuff you see on DR and TV2, made down here, man. We've got studios, we've got production companies, we've got the cutting edge of the arts. We also have cutting edge architecture in, quite frankly, the most obscenely ridiculous and nasty building in the city. That is becoming a bit of a competition. Dock It isn't exactly a shining light of the art, but that is, quite frankly, brutalist in every sense of the term. Glass, concrete, no imagination, no style, no appreciation for its environment, a vanity project for which the designer probably got an award. The best view from that is internally, because at least that way you don't actually have to look at it. But Filmburen is basically where we're heading as a city, and while this area being the only place in the city that has really got any space to grow and to build on, is going to be, the next hot spot. I see the inevitability. I don't necessarily have to like it. In 2017, we asked, what if art can change the world? There's no what if about it. It can. All right? Mohammed cartoons. That was art that changed the world. Van Gogh. His art changed the world. What if we do something unexpected? Yeah. You want to be a bit more specific about what is unexpected and what is acceptable unexpected. What if we recreate the city as a place to live? The city is a place to live. What are you talking about? And what if the children are allowed to decide? Then the world will be all rainbows, sweeties and fairground rides. Alright? These are fatuous and vacuous questions for which my tax krona are paying. Kill me now, or give me another beer. Just saw this, very nice. Because it's very dry in the winter. Keep the rain off. Crash here instead of staggering into the harbour. No one jaywalks in Denmark. Even if we can clearly see that there are no cars or bicycles coming, we will always wait for the little green man. No, they don't. They used to, but that's not actually as true as it used to be. That's one of the things that sometimes the nation thinks about itself that is no longer true. Like the English think we're all gentlemen. We're not, actually. We're a bunch of vicious racists. But we like to tell ourselves this is something that they tell themselves is not actually true. Right? Used to do that. Yes, we are aware the Danish language sounds really peculiar, and it's weird we don't have a word for please. It's not weird you don't have a word for please. You don't have any use for please because it's not a word that because you're not very polite to people. It would be weird if you did have a word for please.
Yeah, I see.